I now call the President of the Senior Class Cabinet, Ms. Elizabeth Sisson, to offer the senior class farewell.
Good morning. And on behalf of the class of 2012, welcome to Commencement. It is an absolute honor to be standing in front of you all this morning. This speech has been one of the most trying things I've had to do in the past 4 years at Bentley. There are just so many things I could reflect back on from my time here. I could talk about the transition Bentley had from a college to a university, the endless name changes of the Mad Falcon, or Yellows, or Harry's, or the reply all fiasco of 2010. I could talk about the death of GB 301, the birth of Main Bowl, the weekly Skellig Thursdays, or our recent Bahamas trip, which posed to be the best few days of my life thus far. In fact, I can even talk about those Bentley stairs and how nice all of your calves are because of them. But those, in so many ways, are just cliches. And when it's all said and done, which is this moment right now, I don't think those are the things we will necessarily miss or reminisce about. The single most important aspect of my experience at Bentley has been, plain and simple, you. It's been all of you sitting underneath this tent. It's been every single one of you impacting this institution and each other every day since the second you stepped foot on this campus. These past 4 years have really been about building meaningful relationships and finding ourselves, with the benefit of our friends, family, professors, and mentors. When I think back on my most precious memories, it's been the times I spent lying around, pillow talking with my best friends eating Asia Walk. It has been the dinner chats at Seasons, because that place just sucks you right in. It's been getting to know my orientation group, along with the members of my countless group projects and the student organizations I've been a part of, and finding a second family in my freshman year floor mates. Go Spruce Stews. It's been the times I've grabbed lunch with a professor, getting to know them as more than just a name and a face. It has been about listening to people's stories and learning about who they truly are, getting to know, especially the class of 2012, as individuals. And that's because you are all so special. Each of you has brought something to this school that has made it worthwhile and valuable. The tireless student leaders who never stop. The international students who are so far from home. The varsity athletes who never miss class, the sisters and brothers of the various sororities and fraternities, the service learning heroes, the double majoring, double minoring, graduating with honors students who I envy so much, the activists, the RAs, the students who work and intern during the school year, the students who know what they want and the students who are just beginning to figure it out, the musicians and the perpetual partiers, and of course, the accounting majors, because you're accounting majors. It's each and every one of you that make up the various parts to this equation that we call Bentley, that we call home. We all came from different places with different experiences and stories to share. Maybe we didn't have anything in common when we came here in September of 2008, but we sure do now. We all experienced the college to university transition. We experienced the endless name changes of the Mad Falcon. We received those emails from the reply all fiasco. We all passed 301, and we've all eaten our fair share of Sodexo food. We've climbed those stairs, and we have the calves to prove it. We did it together, and along the way, we met some of the most important people of our lives. We took the time to break down stereotypes and judgments and preconceived notions. We let people come into our lives and introduce us to things we would otherwise have no clue about. I can say, with confidence, that some of the most influential people of your life and of my life are sitting right next to you. I'm unsure what the future holds, and like you, I'm just beginning to prepare for the next leg of the journey. But what I do know is that the future will be bright for all of you. You have Bentley on that diploma, and you've learned so much inside and outside of the classroom that any employer will desire. Rewind back to freshman year, when we were initially in trees, just a bunch of little greenhorns, so unsure of everything, and just appreciate how much we've grown and changed. I can attribute most, if not all of my growth, and I don't mean the freshman 15, to the words of wisdom I received throughout my years from various experiences and people. I decided to study abroad by myself in London in my junior year. I took that time to reflect a lot on who I was and who I wanted to be. Over the course of my 6 months there, I began writing down various one-liners of wisdom that I acquired throughout my travels on Post-it notes and kept them on a bulletin board in my apartment. I turned to those Post-it notes for inspiration and encouragement. I started to truly realize that the most valuable lessons we learn are from the people we surround ourselves with. From that point in London on, it has been a habit of mine to listen and take insight and wisdom wherever I am. I've been writing them down, and as I was preparing for this speech, I referred back to what I heard. What may seem like repetitive one-liners are actually the messages that have impacted me once I really understood the meaning behind them. These words I'd like to share with you are depictions of some of the people who I've been lucky enough to listen to and recognize their wisdom. For example, and I didn't get this from Wall Street Journal, just so you know. For example, don't ever forget where you came from and the people under the tent today who made it possible for you. Know the power of individuals, understand people, and respect them. Have the consideration to capture their stories because the only people you remember in the end are the people you meet. Bring an open mind and a positive attitude to every community you visit and every conversation you have. See the world and learn something new from someone new. Discover what you're passionate about and do something with it. Be proud of the work you do and don't let a day go by that you aren't entirely happy. Continue to impact this world like you've impacted me and Bentley. Help a neighbor, fight for a cause, love your family and your friends. There's wisdom all around us. Who are the voices you're going to listen to? All of those meaningful relationships you spent time building here don't end now. With the power of technology and our constant need for connectedness, like we've talked about so much today, honestly, how many of you are texting right now? Take advantage of all your resources that you're sitting shoulder to shoulder with right now and stay linked. There will be a day when Facebook will no longer exist, and your days at Bentley will become such a distant memory. But always remember the people who helped shape who you are today. If there is ever a day that you need a job, a piece of advice, a recommendation, or a suggestion, always turn to your fellow alumni and your alma mater. The people who were once your classmates are now your colleagues, no matter what path you decide to follow. Facets of your post-graduation success will not be defined by your GPA or your major, and it certainly won't be defined by your salary or bank account. But it will be measured by the quality of relationships we have had with one another and the wisdoms you choose to share. And before we all cross this stage, don't trip, my mom always told me manners get you far in life, so I just want to take this time to say thank you. Thank you to my family, my mom, my aunts, my cousins, my grandma, and my sisters for being my biggest fans and always supporting every decision I make. Thank you to my roommates, Shannon, Christy, and Edith, for being so patient. Thank you to all of my friends from Bentley and from Plainville who have taught me so much about compassion, hard work, loyalty, and most of all, love. Thank you to my mentors, Maria, Ron, and Leslie, for always knowing what to say. And thank you to the professors and teachers behind me, all of you from over the years, because if it wasn't for you, none of us would be here today, and academics never get enough credit. Thank you for the tireless staff from student activities, facilities, financial aid, and more for making Bentley what it is today for all of us graduates. And most of all, thank you to the class of 2012. Thank you for teaching me such valuable lessons, and for most of all, for giving me the time of my life. Fellow graduates, the world is not ending. We're just taking over.